Hello everyone, Michael here, part-time gamer, full-time dad with a too long didn't read guide for World of Warcraft. This time on the block it's going to be the Guardian Druid, so let's get it going. A quick warning before we do start, this is simply a basics guide and my recommendations for a new Guardian Druid looking to get a feel for the class. As an aside to that, this guide will not take into account legendaries or artifact level, which can both seriously impact your playstyle. As well, this guide will be focused primarily on survivability, as a new bear tank should be putting their effort there until they're fairly comfortable. Guardian Druids are notorious for having large health pools and good methods of damage mitigation and self-healing. With the removal of Mark of Ursol in patch 7.25, things have definitely changed a bit. However, bear tanks are still considered very strong and should not be taken lightly. So with that, I guess we should talk about the talents first. Let's take a look. So, my recommendation is at level 15, go with Blood Frenzy, as it's entirely passive and helps with rage generation. If you pick this, ensure Thrash never falls off your target. For level 30, I'd suggest Guttural Roars. This increases the range of your roars, which can provide great utility. At level 45, you'll probably be best off with Restoration Affinity. The passive heal can add up fast. If you have issues with mobility, go with Feral Affinity for the move speed increase. Level 60, much like with the Thunder Chicken, I picked Typhoon. It's just a fun spell and can save your life. Level 75, well, you're going to be going with Galactic Guardian. A, because it's passive, and B, because it helps you generate more rage. Level 90, it's a pretty big no-brainer for survivability. You'll want Guardian of Elune. Increasing the duration and healing of your two main mitigation spells can't be beat. And finally, level 100, Rend and Tear. Now, I know people will debate this with Pulverize, which is also very good, but we're going for ease of use, and this one's passive. So let's move on to all the things you need to know to make yourself an immovable wall. So for your stat priority, bear tanks prioritize armor above all else of course, but for secondaries it's going to be versatility and mastery are pretty much neck and neck, then haste, and then crit down at the bottom. For your gems, you're going to want to use the Saber's Eye of Agility 200 in one socket, and the Versatile Maelstrom Sapphire 150 versatility in your remaining sockets. Again, this may change based on your stat priority. So for relics, Guardian Druid relics choices are pretty straightforward if you pick either survivability or DPS. So since we're going with survivability, I'm also going to sort of focus single target. So for that, you're going to want to go with these ones. That's Reinforced Fur, Wild Flesh, and Ursoc's Endurance traits. For your enchants, for your neck, it should be Mark of the Heavy Hide for the added armor. Your cloak is going to be Agility, big surprise here. And rings should be Versatility, again based on your stats priority. Your consumables, you're going to want for a flask of 10,000 scars for the HP while using Unbending Potion for the survivability. Potion of Prolonged Power will give you a mix of survivability and DPS gain, so it's not a terrible choice. Lastly, of course, your food should be the Lavish Suramar Feast, but if you have to bring your own food, Seed Battered Fish Plate is your best option. So, the basic playstyle of a Guardian Druid. Let's talk defensive abilities of the bear tank, and then we'll go into the rotation, so to speak. So Guardian Druids are all about building rage, which you will in turn spend in order to prevent damage or recover from damage. In order to do this, you will use Iron Fur and Frenzied Rejuvenation, and obviously healers play a role there too. So now, in order to build that rage, you should follow this priority spell order pretty closely for best results. When you have a Galactic Guardian proc, use Moonfire ASAP. Even without any proc however, you want to make sure you have Moonfire up on your main target at all times. Then, your next priority up is going to be Mangle. Use this on cooldown. This is reset by Gore procs, so watch over that. Then you want Thrash on cooldown, and Swipe. Once your Thrash is stacked to 3, you don't necessarily need to use it, just make sure it doesn't fall off. If you find yourself with a ton of extra rage, i.e. you don't need to use Iron Fur or Frenzied Rejuvenation, you use it on Maul over Swipe. If you took Pulverize instead of Rend and Tear, you want to prioritize that over Maul and Swipe. This will obviously vary slightly if you're in an AoE situation, but not much. Essentially, Thrash becomes more important, only second to consuming your Galactic Guardian procs in anything with more than 2 targets. This rotation does not take into account active mitigation, so you want to aim for almost 100% uptime on your Iron Fur, and use Frenzied reactively when you take a lot of damage. As for actual defensive cooldowns, Survival Instincts, which is a 50% flat damage reduction, and Bark Skin, which is 20% damage reduction. Both of these should be used preemptively in anticipation of a large damage spike. Your artifact ability, Rage of the Sleeper, is essentially another one of these, but with a Thorns-like damage aspect to it, which is great for AoE. It also kind of looks like a mini Heroism, or Bloodlust if you're Horde. So that's the basic bear tank. But let's look at some of the extra utilities. Basically, you have Rebirth, the battle res. Usually this is left to others, but in a pinch, you can get someone up. That's pretty much it. You also have Skull Bash being your interrupt, but again, interrupt should be left to others. And same with Remove Corruption, again, should be left to your healers. And with that, we reach the end of this Too Long Didn't Read guide for the Guardian Druid. If this was at all helpful, hit the like button, get subscribed for more videos in the future, leave a comment below letting me know what you do differently. Thanks for watching, see you in the next one.